Hello everyone, it's so nice to see you all here. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll just give you a minute to get in and we'll get the session started. You guys are in for a treat today. I always say that, but to be fair, these guys have got something really clever and really impactful to show you and to talk about. And it's something that is very close to my heart, because when I was a school leader, I had to deal with a lot of the incidents that happened in school, and I was always trying to work out how we can make it better. What can we do that's different to what we're always doing? How can we stop that thing happening again that just happened? And I was always trying to work out what the answers were, and it was always a bit of a challenge to do so. So I'm really glad to be introducing everybody to the session today. We'll just wait for Daniel to come back in and then we'll get started. So as you know, we love questions in the chat, and we love it when you say hello. It helps us to know that we're not talking to ourselves. It's really reassuring. And so please do say hello and tell us where you're from, tell us what kind of school you're in, ask questions. We love a question. Everybody loves questions. We always do our best to answer them. And so if you've got any questions, please do put them in the chat. You are lucky today. You've got 3 people to help answer them, which is really nice. It's very rare that you get that opportunity, so make the most of it. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to the lovely Daniel and Mandy from Medical Tracker, who are going to show you a really impactful way of transforming how you manage your first aid and incidents in school, which makes a real difference to children and families and staff. So enjoy, and I'll be here if you need me. Thank you so much. Welcome, you two.
Hi, thank you, Lucy. Thank you very much for having us at Medical Tracker with you today. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I'm here to talk to you today about improving parental engagement, specifically around medical and first aid, and more specifically around moving from a paper-based system to a digital system. So just as a way of introduction, my name is Daniel Neeld. I am the Managing Director of Medical Tracker. I'm also a trustee of a multi-academy trust and a parent of 2 children at primary school age. So I'm acutely aware of the importance of parental engagement, specifically when it comes to medical and first aid. I've got my colleague Mandy Patel here, who is going to give a quick demonstration of Medical Tracker and how we engage with parents when any slips, trips, bumps or falls happen within the school. And that will come later on today. Before I start, I want to take a bit of a history lesson. I want to go back 5.5 years to when the world stopped. Yes, I'm talking about COVID, and don't worry, this whole presentation isn't going to be about COVID, but as I mentioned, the world did stop, businesses stopped, and more importantly, schools stopped. Schools closed down. Parents were forced to undertake the difficult job that all of you do on a daily basis in educating their own children. And the pendulum swung very much in the 80s, the 90s, the early noughties. Parents were far more worried about academic achievement. And now when schools reopened, they were far more concerned around the health and safety and the well-being of their children. And I'm sure, like myself at the schools that I'm a trustee at, we saw it. I'm sure yourself at your schools, you saw it as well. Parents are wanting to be kept informed far more frequently and have far more information at their fingertips. And what we're going to do today is talk to you about how we can help support that at Medical Tracker, but also if you are still reliant on a paper-based system for all of your medical and first aid, moving to a digital solution is certainly something that I would recommend looking at. So just as a way of an introduction, as some of you may or may not be aware of who Medical Tracker are, we were born in 2015 by a school business manager, and like most in education, was overworked, underpaid and undertrained. He was then given the responsibility of looking at all of the health and safety within the school and a paper-based system. And really started to identify that there were so many flaws within that system, not to mention where we're at now with GDPR, etc. But so he went on a bit of a mission to speak with other business managers and school leaders to really challenge that status quo and move to more of a digital solution. So fast forward now to where we are today in 2025. Medical Tracker works with over 3,000 schools in the UK and specifically, more importantly, England alone. We track over 230 million medical records and have over 16 million incidents, trips, slips, bumps and falls, medication administration, medication stock levels, as well as tracking all of the staff health and safety training and records as well. Now, with all of that data, we need to make sure that we're informing parents. And so last month alone, we sent over 1.2 million notifications to parents, informing them about their children. So how do we do that? We provide schools with a digital solution that integrates directly with your management information system, allowing you to track all medical incidences within schools in real time, efficiently and smartly. And I'll come on to that a little bit later on. Not only with that, we provide a solution that allows for communicating this information directly to parents in real time. One byproduct of all of that information collated is we're able to provide reports to the people that need it most. Firstly, the parents, but also the senior leadership team of the school or even trust that you're at, so that they're able to make data-informed decisions on change. And those changes then can be put into practice within the school and parents can be informed. An example of that could be, where are the sort of accident hotspots? Is it in the playground? Is it in a corridor, etc.? What pastoral changes need to happen to be able to make sure that those issues are rectified? Excuse me. So that's a bit of an overview of Medical Tracker. What I wanted to do is just take you quickly through some of the data that we started to see. Now, as I mentioned, I'm a trustee of a multi-academy trust, so I see this from a different lens, but it's really shocking to see that half of parents feel that schools need to be more accountable. As I say, I understand that you're not only having to educate children, you're having to keep them safe and well, and parents don't necessarily see all of the amazing work that schools do. But we need to change that, and we need to change that by informing them a lot better. It can't just be the odd email here or the odd phone call there. Parents want to feel that schools are valuing their input as well. Yes, we've all have those parents that are the helicopter parents, and they're coming in, they're phoning the school day in, day out. And that's because they're not seeing the change happen. They want to be heard and then see that change happen off the back of it. And as I mentioned before, over 3/4 of parents have changed their mindset to being thinking about academic achievement, to making sure that their children are safe and well and the well-being of their children whilst they're at school. So what do parents want? What are they looking for? They're looking to be kept informed in real time when an incident happens, when medication is administered. They don't want to have to wait until the end of school, where their child comes with a sticker on their chest, or that yellow or pink piece of paper is in their bag. And sometimes that's not even seen for 2 or 3 weeks. They want to also make sure that all of their data is kept safe. Now, historically, and I'll talk about a paper-based system a little bit later on, but with a paper-based system, if there is an incident and you're having to fill that form in, that form can be lost. It could be accidentally dropped on the school playground, which means that actually it's a breach against GDPR. And parents are really mindful of that. They want to make sure that their data is kept confidential. And then also, they're wanting schools to make those data-informed decisions and showing that the change is happening. All of this will give the parents the reassurance that their child is being looked after safely. So I mentioned the historical paper-based systems. They are functional. They are functional. We can't say that they're not, because they have been used for decades in the past. However, there are some failings that we see, and that a digital solution will certainly overcome, and it will also then reassure parents. So one example would be a child falls over on the playground. The lunchtime supervisor would then have to administer first aid straight away to start off with. From there, they may need to take that child into a classroom and stay with that child to make sure that they're okay, obviously reassuring them, which everybody would understand needs to happen. From there, it might be an hour or two later that they actually get the time to fill in the piece of paper, the accident form, in the accident book. That accident form then needs to go to the secretary. The secretary potentially might have to then take that to the senior leadership team, because there might be a riddle, or there might be something confidential that has happened that needs to be shared. From there, that senior leadership team then can allow for the secretary to inform the parents. So we could be looking at 2 or 3 hours later after the incident has happened. Now, I appreciate that this may be sort of stretching the possibility what happens within schools, but all of when this is happening, the parent isn't informed. The parent is blissfully unaware that an incident has happened about their child and is going on about their day. And what we want to do is make change so that the parent is informed in real time. The one thing that we see at Medical Tracker is that nearly 100% of the schools that move to Medical Tracker from another solution are moving from a paper-based system because of the points that we have on screen here. They've identified that it is inefficient, it is laborious, it is wasteful, not to mention it's costly. It's extremely costly just on the personnel hours, but also to the school. So what do schools need to do? We believe moving to a future-proof system is the way forward. Having a digital system will allow for schools to be completely transparent with the parent about any medical issues that have happened in school about their child, or any medication that has been administered. The schools are getting informed in real time and in a consistent manner, so they know that they're going to receive a notification if their child has fallen over, or if they have a short-term antibiotic requirement that needs to be administered at a specific time. So it's giving them that reassurance. Consistency for staff as well is absolutely vital, and that's something that schools shouldn't necessarily overlook. Being able to give them a solution where they are aware of how to fill that in, how easy and quick that it is for them, and time efficient is absolutely vital. All in all, will provide the school with a solution that enhances the standard of care that is presented to the child, but also then reassures their parents. So I've talked a lot about moving from a paper-based system, the inefficiencies, and moving into a digital system, and keeping parents informed in real time. What I'd like to do is I'd like to hand over to my colleague Mandy, who will be able to go through a short demonstration of Medical Tracker and how we are able to engage through our medical and first aid solution with parents in real time.
Thank you, Daniel. Hi, everybody. I am Mandy, and I am an account manager that has been with Medical Tracker for just over 3 years, but also I'm a parent of 2 children that are at secondary school and 1 at primary. And both schools are using Medical Tracker as their solution. So today, what I want to emphasize on is the parental engagement that Medical Tracker offers. Now, Medical Tracker is a web-based solution, and it allows schools to have as many users on the system as they like. Now, we link with all MISs, and that is either via Wand or group call exporter, depending on your MIS. Now, what I'm going to show you today is the parental engagement throughout the different modules that we offer. So we have modules such as students, staff, medication, incidents, and reporting. But where I'm going to start is with the incidents tab. So whenever a school logs into Medical Tracker, they have the ability to be able to record any type of injury. And once they've done that, all they need to do is click on the child's name, and at the very top next to the green edit button, you have a send notification button. We give schools 13 standard letter templates across the system, but we also show them how they can create their own, and they will have their own school logos, the footer, and all you need to do is select the letter that you want to send to parents to keep them in the loop. Now, if, for example, it was a head injury and you wanted to send the parents details of the injury, but also the NHS symptom warnings, you can. And it's at a click of a button, you can get that information to parents within seconds. So you click email, you tick the parent contact information, and you press done. And that is you informing parents of the injury, but also what they need to look out for. Now, that's not all Medical Tracker does. We also have 3 separate modules which start with the medical conditions tab. So we pull through all the children's conditions from your MIS, so whether you're using ARBA, SIMS, BROMCOM, and to show you how we ask parents to approve those conditions, you select the child, and you have this green button at the very top that says Enable Parent Carer Approval. Now, when you press that, a 4-digit code will go to the parent carer asking them to do one of 3 things. Simply approve the condition, amend it because something's changed, or say no longer required and notify school. Again, what this is doing is making sure that the information that the school requires is smooth and correct. And then when you do administer medication to a child, you go to the medication use tab. And this is where you would then click on a child's name and you would press again, send notification. And this time what the system allows you to tell parents is what you've just administered to their child and when. Now, this is very important, especially if you've administered Calpol to a child, maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and now you want parents to know that they need to leave a 4-hour gap before they administer that again. Again, you simply go to the green box, you press email, you tick the parent contact information, and you press done. And what that does is it generates an email to the parent carer, giving them the information via email. And in the middle, we have medication stock and expiry. So this is where when a medication expires, the school are prompted to, again, get in touch with parents so that you always have the most up-to-date medication expiry. So on the left of my screen is a key. And all you need to do is just click through those, click on a child's name, press send notification, and in here will be, again, all your letter templates. And what the system is telling parents now is that this medication is due to expire here. Please bring in new. And also we have an acknowledgement link in our emails as well. So if a parent presses that button, what will happen is the red tick that I will show you on the stock page will change into the shape of an eye. So you as a school will also know that that medication acknowledgement email has been read by the parent. And to bring all of that together, what we have is the student module. So this is where you would have a list of all your students that we pull through via Wand, and that automatically refreshes every day between 7 and 9 to make sure that we've always got the most up-to-date information. And to find a child, you can type in any one of the filter boxes, select the child you're looking for. And this is a really important part of Medical Tracker because this is where everything is centralized. So if a parent rang me and said, I would like to know this injury that occurred on this date, I would be simply able to go to the incidents tab, work down the list, and I would have all of that information at a click of a button. And what this red tick under notified means is that I sent an email at the time of the injury to let parents know about that. And it's the same for medication use as well. So if a colleague of mine was off and they'd administered medication to a child yesterday, perhaps, I would be able to go into Medical Tracker and give that information to parents in case they'd missed my email. But also we have a reporting area. So this is where we pull all the data through from everything you've entered from an injury all the way through to medication. And this is where we provide you data because we're aware schools absolutely adore data. So one of the really important reports that I'd like to show you today is what we call the top 10 first aid room visitors. Now, this report has date ranges at the top, which you can change. It also, if you hover over the actual bars, will give you numbers. So the system's telling me that Adam has visited the medical room from the 1st of September to the 31st of August. So that's the date ranges, 66 times. Now, we've only been at school for a month. So you click and it takes you into the data. And what you're able to do is use the filter boxes to drill down into that data. And this is where you can say to parents, well, your child has come to the medical room several times. This is the data to back that up. Is there something that you need to explore further? And that is Medical Tracker for you all. You're on mute.
Hello. Couldn't get back up then. That was fantastic. Thank you so much, you guys. Oh, we've lost Daniel now. It was really, really helpful. What a transformative piece of software we have there. It was really, really super. Thank you so much. We have actually had some questions come through, and I can see that Alex has been working hard to answer them all. So thank you so much, Alex. Can I bring you back, Mandy and Daniel?
Apologies for that. It kicked me out. Sorry about that.
There's technical issues today, but never mind. We're still going, so it's good. So we've had a couple of questions. One was from, I think it was James. Hello, James. And James was talking about how it syncs, how Medical Tracker can sync seamlessly with MIS. And then Sophie was talking about how do we, I mean, I get it, Sophie, I completely do. How on earth do we go from a paper-based system in school, which is what we're used to and what we've done all these years, to something more technically advanced? Both of those are implementation questions and managing the change between what we're used to and what we think is best for our school. So how have you got any tips, words of advice? I can see Alex has put some case studies in the chat, so if you can see Alex's comment and you can download those case studies, that might be a good place to start. But have you two got any sort of good advice? It's quite scary doing that kind of change.
Yeah, certainly. It is scary. We understand it's scary. So I'm going to answer the MIS system question first, and then in regards to the implementation piece, I think. So at Medical Tracker, we work with all of the MIS providers, and what happens is that we will work with potentially a third party, either Wand or Group Call. And what that allows is it allows for a direct integration from the MIS with all of the student and staff data to be pulled through automatically. We have with implementation as well, we also have a customer success team that walks schools through this, that we hold your hands through every step of the way. So what tends to happen is that you will have access codes and your IT teams will be very much aware of all of this. But implementation theoretically can be as quick as 24 hours. It all depends on obviously how many people from the school side is available. But what happens is once that integration piece has happened, the sync will happen in the morning, every morning. So if you've got any changes of student data, so if you've got new students coming into the school, obviously we've just started the new academic year. So we've got in a primary school and in secondary, but in reception, for example, we've got a whole wealth of new reception children come through. That information is added into the MIS system, and then it is pulled through into Medical Tracker, and all of the classrooms and all of the teachers are all synced up as aligned with the MIS system. It's a really quick and straightforward system, but we appreciate it can be quite scary. And that's why our customer success team are there to hold your hand through every step of the way. So that's the MIS part. The other part in regards to implementation kind of dovetails into that. We hold people's hands. Yes, there is going to be change. Nobody likes change. It's human nature at the end of the day. We do know that. However, being able to see ahead and understand that you're going to be able to then start tracking and utilizing this data far more effectively to then change the way that you are supporting schools is far better than potentially keeping in the system where you're at. with regards to training of people, our customer success team will do all of that as well. We will support with train. We can do train the trainer programs, but we can also, every user, if we needed to, we can also train those as well. So we hold your hand through every step of the way. I know I sound like a broken record, but I truly believe it. As I say, as a trustee myself, I've had our schools go through it as well. So I've seen it from the other side, as well as being part of the team that implemented it into the school. Mandy, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, just the fact that there's not a lot that schools have to do to get the system in place, because WAND or group call does majority for you. The main bits that schools have to do are things like setting up their locations, making sure that their letter templates are perfect for them, even though we give you a select few to start with. But like Daniel mentioned, we actually give you a customer success manager. So this is the person that will actually get to know you, your school, your processes, and they will be the ones that you liaise with, book all your sessions with. So you're not talking to 3 different people, you're speaking to one, and they will be able to then take you through the process, do the training, but also we have pre-recorded training videos for schools. So say, for example, it was your lunchtime supervisors that you're worried about. You would just get them to watch that element of how to record an injury on Medical Tracker. You wouldn't show them the whole system. And that's how we break it down, depending on different users in schools.
Amazing. That's so reassuring. And that's exactly why we recommend you guys, because, you know, I've been there, I've been in that school, I've been in that building where we've had to go from a paper register to a digital register. And unfortunately, the company we were moving into didn't tell us that there was that kind of onboarding process. And so we spent all of the summer half term thinking we were going to have to input every single child's information in a big primary school over the summer holiday. And I can't tell you how much stress that caused all of us and how much worry. And we didn't find out until right at the last minute that there was this thing called WAND that would seamlessly take all of the information from our MIS into this digital register. I think that's what it was, that we were implementing. And so to know that schools will be looked after is really important to us. So the fact that you have such a good onboarding procedure and policy, and to know that they've got a single point of contact, and then it's, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's been done for them, like templates, is really reassuring to us as well as to schools that are listening. That has been so helpful. Thank you so much, you two.
Not a problem. Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, it's been really, really impactful, and it's been lovely to hear how things are moving forward in a positive way to look after children and pupils, to make sure that they're safe and to make the lives of our dedicated teachers and leaders so much easier. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you. And thanks to all of you for watching. I hope it's been helpful. And if you have any questions and you're watching this on demand, you can still ask them. You can send me a DM, go to your little chat button, and you'll find my name, Lucy Coy, and just send me a message and I will pass it on to the experts, Daniel and Mandy. And if not, you can have a look at their website, which is medicaltracker.co.uk. And you can also have a look at their email account too, sales@medicaltracker. Before we finish, Daniel, did you have anything else you wanted to show us?
No, that's okay. It was in regards to sharing our details, obviously. But I think the only sort of thing that I just my final thought would be that anybody that is looking at moving from a paper-based system to a digital system, please do get in touch, and we're more than happy to walk you through absolutely everything and answer all those questions, because everybody will have questions and there will be those concerns about, oh, this is how we've always done it, and what does that then look like? And so, yeah, please do get in touch, and myself or one of the team would be more than happy to take the call.
Oh, super. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you, Daniel. And have a lovely day, everybody. There's Medical Tracker's email address. Again, their website is medicaltracker.co.uk. Do take a look at them. It is worth having a look. It's definitely worth getting in touch with them. As you can see, they are lovely people. very knowledgeable, very understanding of what your situation is like. So I'm sure you will be well looked after. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, and have a good day. Take care.
Bye-bye.